Welcome to the video. I know we're all wondering the same thing. What is the point of meditating? Why are all these millionaires telling us we need to meditate and it's going to change our lives and all this stuff? Like, what does it even do? Well, to be honest with you guys, it's a loaded question for sure. Like, there's a variety of benefits that come with meditating. Like, a monk would tell you the point of meditating is, you get it? I personally will tell you that it's going to help you process your thoughts, achieve clarity to your goals, and let you understand what the next action is. However, a neuroscientist may tell you it will help you tap into your subconscious mind, be able to reprogram your conditioning. In this video, I'm going to go over all the benefits I've seen meditating over the last couple of years, how I've been able to bend space-time, achieve my goals, rewrite my subconscious programming and behaviors, and how you can implement the same benefits. Okay, first thing I really noticed when I started meditating, when I first started, was I just had more focus and patience with everything. So when you start out, really, you just want to sit down for 5 to 10 minutes, focus on your breathing, and just like try not to think any thoughts. And it's really just flexing the awareness muscle. You know, it's like how you can become aware of your knee, then your elbow, and the top of your head. It's that awareness muscle you're like gaining control of, just like you have control over the rest of your body. First couple months of starting out, really, all I'd noticed was that I was able to work for longer periods of time, and I had more patience, and I didn't really have to say much. You know, I didn't feel my voice needed to be heard in conversations as much. I was just kind of like processing and thinking deeply. Of course, it's kind of a tough habit to adopt, to be completely honest with you guys. I was meditating like once or 3 times a week for like months on end. But what really got me to start meditating more and more is when I dove into Joe Dispenza's works. Now, Joe Dispenza is a neuroscientist. He has countless literatures on the subconscious mind and how it affects everything. He's discovered some crazy things, like being able to have somebody walk when they were paralyzed and heal infinite amounts of sickness, and how people have changed their lives. His camps are really like impactful on a lot of people's lives. And so I was like, okay, this is strange. This is a new concept that's being introduced to me, right? Like, you can just heal yourself with your mind. Sounds fishy. What's it all about, right? Not being closed-minded. Of course, I digested 3 of his books, and then I'm like, wow, this is the whole premise of like Eastern medicine and Eastern philosophies. So here in the West, we've been tainted under like a pharmaceutical, medicinal type practice. And in the East, they attribute their healing prowess to their mind and their ability to live a healthy lifestyle. So it makes sense. I would highly recommend you guys dive into his books. He has great books like Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Becoming Supernatural, or The Placebo Effect. Those books changed my life for sure. So after I read his books, I started doing an energy center type meditation, to where it's like, okay, I got my root chakra, sacral chakra, stomach chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, head chakra, and crown chakra, right? And I really started imagining these bundles of nerves, because that's what they are. The chakras, quote unquote, are bundles of nerves, no different than the nerves in your brain. So it's basically thoughts. Like, you can have thoughts in your heart, in your stomach, in like all your chakra points, right? Now, the sacral chakra, or the crown chakra, is a little bit hard to imagine, like how you can have thoughts there. But I like to picture it as like infinite knowledge, infinity, being able to be accessed. You know, just like how you get a craving in your stomach for a certain type of food, infinity has those same type of like thoughts. So you can just access them at any point. And it's all about becoming aware of these things, right? So that's the point of meditation, channeling your awareness and being able to like become conscious of the fact that, okay, I have a bundle of nerves here, here. Whenever I'm distressed, this is where this emotion comes from. Whenever I'm happy, I feel it here. These thoughts come from here. Okay, cool. And you start to learn your body more and more. So after I got to this like second level of like meditation, where I started like learning my body, I started realizing most of my thoughts are already processed. Like, I've already thought about everything, like everything, like in the day-to-day life, people will try to shit test you. They'll try to get something to get you, but it's like, nope, I already thought of that. Sorry. You know, it's like you're really certain with yourself. You have complete, like, you have this confidence because you've already thought of like the things, you know. It's like, you know how you'd handle this situation, this situation. It's like you've processed all these, you know. And a lot of the times, like, I used to be a really awkward guy, and like a lot of the times when I was jumbled up, I just wasn't uncertain. That all got solved when I started meditating. I'm like, oh snap, I literally have just thought of it all. Like an old adage you stand for something, you fall for nothing. Once you start learning yourself and like what your beliefs are and start just having that relationship with yourself, you're like, okay, I like this is what my values are. And then nobody can really influence you because you've already decided what your values are. And it's like, you're not like under the spell of anybody. You're like, this is what I value. This is what I'm doing. And that builds confidence and character within yourself. This was really the second layer of benefits that I got from meditating. Okay, now, all of this stuff is really like surface level human people-y, right? So I'm gonna get weird here for a second. So I need you guys to just stay with me because it's gonna get really weird. We're gonna go abstract and it's gonna be really theoretical, random shit. Once you've processed all your thoughts and you've gone through the layers, you thought about your business, your career, your health, your fitness, your friends, your family, what you're doing tomorrow, what you've done in the past, how you feel about this. Once you've processed all of it, it's like a bulk amount of data to process, so it takes weeks and months if you're only meditating 10 minutes at a time, unless you have the discipline to do 30 or 60-minute intervals like daily, but that's really unreasonable to ask of anybody just starting out meditating. But once you've processed all this data, you get to the point of just like blissful silence. And the silence is powerful because start becoming present. As you're sitting there, concepts start diluting and like you're not aware of them anymore. You can literally just like, they pop up in your head and you just allow them to just like keep going and you're like, next. Like, let me just be silent until the next thought pops up, right? So it's like tomorrow doesn't matter. Yesterday doesn't matter. Right now is what matters, right? You're listening to, let's say, the ambiance in your room. You start thinking about the clothes, how they feel on your body. You start thinking about the pressure, your weight sitting on the floor. And then eventually those thoughts get old and they pass as well, right? I think this is where you enter like a theta state of being, to where it's like you've passed the alpha brainwave state. So a quick synopsis on how brainwaves work. Beta brainwaves are your waking conscious state. This is how we all operate day to day. Alpha brainwaves are like when you're going to sleep, that like jolty in between feeling you feel where it's like you're kind of going to sleep. Theta is most of the time when you've gone unconscious and asleep, but if you're with your spine erect, you're awake during meditation. So you can slip into theta, and this is, I think, the point where you slip into theta, where all these human people-y concepts start really not mattering at all. And you can slip into like an infinity type of state. It's almost as if the veil of reality is like kind of peeled back and you're just in complete presence. It's a really weird sensation. It takes a little bit to get to. And I think trying to get there in it of that itself kind of defeats it. You just have to kind of like allow the thoughts to process. It's super weird, guys. In this state, it's like you have access to your subconscious programming. So you can now start to change your behaviors and predict like the way you operate. So it's like if you have a bad habit that you want to get rid of, you can just get in there and start like telling yourself, I no longer do this. These are my goals. And in this state, you can really start to visualize like the life that you want. You can put yourself in different scenarios because you're no longer in your living room or on your floor or whatever. You are in infinity. So now you can really immerse yourself into wherever and like really visualize and like focus on like how everything would feel in the ideal scenario you want to be at, and it's like, try to imagine everything, the smells, the feels, the way the air would feel, like taste and like everything, just like what you see, obviously, what you're hearing. And this creates like a pocket in infinity that you're trying to like wire your current lifeline to. I guess that's my like point to transition into like the super abstract, crazy concepts. So I'm not a scientist, and you just need to think of these next words as completely like random nonsense from some guy on YouTube that has no subscribers that you just happen to be watching. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you guys basically how I have perceived myself able to bend space-time to my will. So last year, specifically, I'll tell you guys this example. I was meditating in my apartment, and I'll see if I can pull up a clip here what my apartment looked like. And I knew I wanted a certain lifestyle, right? And I was able to actually achieve everything down to the T this year, like a brand new truck, an office downtown, a nice apartment like this downtown, And it all came from me visualizing in that like and I had no means to get there at all, right? I had no idea like how it was even possible. But it all just kind of fell into place and happened that way. And I would remember like really binding my emotion and like becoming familiar with the day to day. You know, it's like I really would just like envision myself and like how I'm moving, how I'm feeling, all that stuff. And just like trying to add as much detail as possible. And it's almost like it's like we imagine a timeline, right? It's like I was at this point in time at that moment, and my timelines can go in infinite different directions, right? And so I found the one timeline that I wanted to live, and it's like I got linked in that moment, right? And so then constantly practicing and constantly like visualizing that, I maintain that link to where it's like my subconscious behaviors, like behaviors I'm not conscious of at all, just seamlessly guide me into that rather than diverting and taking off a different path. Now it's like, let's say I missed a week or something. It's like, yes, it would feel like my path got diverted a little bit, but then it's like I get back on track, and then it's like, okay, it feels like more like I'm getting there until I look around and I'm mind blown one day that's like, holy shit, this is all like how I wrote it in my journal like last year. This is fucking crazy. Now, that's visualization. Let me talk to you guys about something called pendulums. So this is going into reality transurfing concepts, and that's a fantastic book. It's a Bible to read, but if you can get through it, you guys are going to level up like no other. And it was helped me close $400,000 worth of deals this year alone. So we have that ideal place we want to be, and we have all these pendulums that are like sucking our energy. You can imagine them as like an energy draining concept in like a space we can't see. They're just in the fabric of like the universe, if you will. And they're taking your energy, right? And so it's kind of like a pendulum, right? Where it's like swings this way, swings that way with the amount of energy and how you feel about it. And so I have a lot of importance, and to this day I have a lot of importance to like becoming wealthy and successful and all this stuff, right? Like I'm like, I want to be wealthy, I want to be successful, all this stuff, right? Versus what reality transurfing talks about is dropping all importance to that and just allowing myself to be. So it's like, okay, if I'm successful or if I'm not successful, that's fine. It's all fine and dandy, you know? That's basically the premise of that. And so what I did was I stopped valuing my goal at the time was like hitting $1 million in sales that year, being in Miami, all this stuff. Right? I just dropped importance on it where it didn't even matter anymore. And seamlessly, huge deals fell on my lap. Like when I stopped, like it's almost like I visualize it like a magnetic force. You know how like when you put two negatives together, they repel, and then obviously opposites will come together. It's like I was putting a lot of importance on these concepts of being rich where it's like I'm repelling that away because I'm like, I'm not, I want to be. Like saying I want to be rich is literally saying I'm not rich right now. Like I want to be rich. So you're affirming to yourself that you're not rich right now, therefore pushing away the wealth, right? And so when I drop that importance and I'm just like, I am, and it doesn't even matter, whatever. It's like it like that negative space kind of like vanished, and it just allowed the things to just come my way. So, I mean, similarly today, like for four days or so like that, I've been really prospecting, really trying to land a new client, and I just like dropped importance today. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, I've already built the perfect system. The people that deserve it are gonna come just like naturally, right? And that's not to say like I'm not gonna do shit. Like obviously I'm still gonna put myself in like positions to win and like up my luck. But again, seamlessly, I get a call from a random number. I didn't even know that I like called at all. And it's like, I never called them actually. I just left a voicemail one day and they just happened to call like, hey, we could really use your services. Could we go ahead and book a meeting? I'm like, yeah, no problem, you know? So it happens like that, you know? When you put importance on things, it starts pushing it away. And pendulums will drain your energy. So it's like, things that we put a lot of importance on like become these pendulums that like start sucking up your energy, you know? And it's like when it's sucking up that way and then you drop importance, it'll swing your way, right? That's probably a really rough like overview of that book. I'm not a reality transurfing expert. Do not quote me, guys. But it's a fantastic book. It also changed my life. All that aside, we can both imagine a pink elephant, right? So it's like, okay, where is that pink elephant? In your mind? Well, where's your mind? It's like, okay, we conceptualized it. We can really conceptualize anything we have some sort of grasp on like our physical world. So it's like, okay, we can think about anything, we can visualize anything. I can see a pink elephant clear as day when I close my eyes. So there has to be a pocket of infinity somewhere we just become aware of. And so when you meditate, you can basically bring yourself to that state of like creation, where it's like you've peeled back the veil, you're in the building blocks of the universe and reality, and you're like, okay, I've thought about myself here, this here, none of that really matters. I actually just want to do this. And then it's like, okay, let's paint that. And it's like, okay, we can build backwards. And like, oh, I have complete clarity now on what I need to do with myself. Like, I know now what matters in order to get me to my ultimate goal. It's like, okay. And it's like, all right, I have this ultimate goal. I'm going to go ahead and lower importance so that things can just start naturally flowing my way. Like, okay, this is the next key task to do. For me in particular, making this YouTube video is the next key task I need to do in order to get to the goals that I want to go to and the life that I want to live in 2026. We can all come back a year from now. All right, guys, check it out. If in a year from now, I'm not in Miami with some dope-ass whips, some nice watches, and doing 100K a month, let's come back to this video and let's roast me. Let's be like, nerd. I'm going to say it myself. I'm going to be like, nerd. To start meditating, just set aside 5-10 minutes of your day. Just sit. Don't do anything. Just sit there. Process your thoughts, Process your thoughts as much as you can every day until eventually you could just get to sit in silence. Then pick up books like this and that, because now you have attention, right? So you can actually put attention into like things that require prolonged periods of like energy. And you can get smarter and you'll see the concepts they talk about. Like, there's a whole world in our heads that we access when meditating. I can't just explain it in one simple video, guys. Honestly, a lot of it, there's no words to even explain what's in there. So it's the crazy part. So, because words in it of that itself defeat the thing that I'm trying to like outline to you guys. And I'm just like, hopefully I have said enough garble in order to at least pique your interest so you can go see what lies on the other side of this amazing like reality. That's the video. If you liked it, smash that like button, drop a comment, share it with your friends. Let me know what you thought. See you guys.